All right, bro. Welcome back to another episode of Dad Debate. Talon, let's kick it off, bro. Hope you're doing good, man.
Yeah.
Um, let's discuss movies
Okay.
with our kids. Let's talk about, you know, I guess let's like violent movies, right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there, that displays and exhibits, negativity and violence. And there's like the human versus human stuff where there's like the shootings and stuff like that, but there's also like the make believe stuff. Like for example, Jurassic Park, right? Some people can see that as violent and don't like their kids watching things like that. What is your take on that?
So I guess what you're saying is like the question is, would I allow my kid to watch Jurassic Park at his age today?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. So I would say this is an interesting topic because my quick answer is yes, but so that's my answer. My answer is yes. I think it's okay for a 2-year-old to watch, or he's almost 3, to watch Jurassic Park. But my wife obviously has a different opinion. So anytime like one of the dinosaurs eats one of the guys or something violent happens, my wife covers his eyes, or will like talk to him to try to get his attention away from what's happening. I don't know. I just, for some reason, like that's a great example, Jurassic Park, because it's not like a human shooting a human or using guns or things that might be deemed inappropriate. It's kind of like this, or illegal, I guess. It's like this dinosaur eating this human. I don't know. It's not super graphic. They're not like showing heads bleeding out and stuff. So I guess I'm okay with it. Now, I might regret it one day. You might have crazy nightmares and it might be all my fault. But, I'd love to hear your take. Do you agree that it's okay for your daughter to watch movies like Jurassic Park?
So for Delilah, I would not let her watch Jurassic Park or movies like that. So we disagree on this one, but I think with Delilah having a girl, I mean, naturally she's more prone to, she gets freaked out by the littlest things. She's definitely very sensitive around those types of things. So I'm not going to lie. When I grew up, I mean, I watched all sorts of movies. I mean, I think like 6 or 7 years old, I watched Leprechaun and like Chucky.
Oh, dude, that movie's scary as hell, dude. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
super messed up movies. But, and that's the joy of being the youngest of 4 kids. But when it comes to Delilah, I want to steer away from a lot of that stuff. It goes back to even like talking about with like electronics and just the impact that they have. I think a lot of kids nowadays, and yeah, Delilah's, almost 3 years old and she's not, 10 or 13, but I think it is really important what you instill into them and setting those boundaries early. Even if it's like, because look, that Jurassic Park, great movie. It's an all-time classic and it's been a great movie. Down the road, yes, I will. But we really just kind of want to, give Delilah stuff that is more loving, embracing, empowering, motivational,
For
and really, teaching, because they're like sponges right now. They're at a very young age where this stuff does have an impact, and we don't really know how it's going to impact them as they grow older. So we disagree, bro. We
Yeah,
disagree.
disagree. So I would say that I think it's okay when it comes to movies like Jurassic Park. In particular, I think that's okay. And you disagree, and
If I had a boy, it may be different. But with
for sure.
the
And
girl,
listen, my son gets a little scared here and there sometimes when it comes to the movie. So maybe I'm not okay. Maybe I'm wrong. He's just obsessed with dinosaurs, and I find that movie to be a really good movie to discuss because it's not guns, it's not violence like where it's like their heads are spewing off. It's not like little leprechauns with knives running after to chase you and you're afraid of the dark. It's like,
well,
it's a
I'll give you an example, like just a quick thing, like for Delilah with Trolls, right? They got the Bergens on there. I mean, she at first she was freaked out about the Bergens, had nightmares about the Bergens. So it was like, for her, it's just like anything beyond like that right now, dude. She already has night terrors. So,
dude, yeah, it's crazy. All right, so this next one's I'm saving this one for the second question just because I think it's a big controversial thing. It's something we're actually both going through and we don't even both know it. And I think tons of dads out there are going through it. Basically, the title of this section is Dad Bods. And yesterday, just to give you guys a little background, Jason yesterday posted really inspiring post, honestly. To be honest, I'm not even confident enough to post a photo like that myself where he showed his stomach and his body, you know, on the internet. And obviously I think there's a lot of women that kind of do this, or moms, you know, but I don't think that it's really touched upon when it comes to dads being insecure about their bodies, right? Like there was this whole dad bod movement, like it was okay to like just be kind of chubby around the waist and kind of be a little bit thicker. And I think the harsh reality is that like we're all pretty insecure about it, or not all of us, but there's a large portion of it. And so basically I'm going to ask you one question, and then as a result, and then after you answer the question, and I want everyone at home that's watching this video to answer this question. And then I want you to, Jason, to tell me what you're doing, what's your plan to better yourself, or if you're okay with it, then that's a different story. But I'm assuming not, considering your Instagram post. Would love you to kind of jump into that too in your answer.
Yeah.
So the question is, are you happy with the way that you look? Meaning your body. Are you happy with your body and the way that it is today?
That's to answer, am I happy with the way my body looks? No. Okay. Am I happy with where I'm at mentally and emotionally? Yeah. Okay. It's kind of weird how they dovetail it, because that may sound contradicting to people, because they do feed off of each other, but mentally and emotionally, I'm in a really good place. Now, do I have things flare up where there's insecurities and emotions around stuff? Yes, because growing up and being athletic and always and being in shape, especially when I first got sober from like 2010 to 2015, I was in really good shape. Like got sober, like obviously with, you know, got all the crap out of my system. But when you're coming off of alcohol is my primary drug of choice. You know, I lost a lot of that bloat and a lot of that water weight and a lot of the sugar. And I was feeling really good. But after I'd relapsed and gone through these different things and struggled as I got older, I just was wanting to get sober again. And, you know, because I hadn't had more than a few months, I'd always keep going in and out. And I think this goes for anybody is whether you're sober or not, a lot of people go through the fluctuations of bodies, especially as you get older. Look, I'm 33. I'm not old. I understand that. But my body's changed compared to when it was just even when I was 30 and definitely in my 20s. So, you know, after looking at myself and kind of seeing where I was at, you know, coming up almost on 8 months again of sobriety, is I love to talk about how I was going to improve myself. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know, now, and going back to the addict mentality for myself, as I was like, I'm going to go get diet pills. I'm going to kind of take some shortcuts and do stuff like that, as opposed to knowing what I really need to do, which is discipline, hard work, doing the workout. And like, I used to keep beating myself up, and it was like, dude, you got to take ownership and accountability here, is you're not putting forth the effort to really make the necessary changes. Like eating froyo like 3 or 4 days a week at night, and like not a little bit, like a tub of it.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was almost having a real conversation with myself. And it's not beating myself up. It's more of like, look, either be comfortable with where you're at and stop giving yourself the grief, or if you're going to keep giving yourself the grief and you want to see changes, like I'm not trying to get like shredded. The whole post that I did was more of like, look, like I'm uncomfortable in my skin. I think there's a lot more men struggle with this than is even out there working in mental health and substance abuse. There's a lot of guys that struggle with eating disorders and like even deeper things. Thank God I don't struggle with like eating disorders and things like that. I guess you could kind of say it's body dysmorphia, if you will. Like I'm uncomfortable with the way
what inspired you yesterday to post your post? Like
because it was basically for me is I do better when I have things that hold me accountable. And it was more of like, if I put something out there, you know, I wanted to have something that was going to hold me accountable. For example, so for the last 4 days now, I had made sure that I was kicking myself into gear before I did something to hold myself accountable. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to make this change and I'm going to post it today and it's going to happen. Like I made the agreement and I made a promise to myself, like, hey, let's commit to 30 days of like a transformation. Let's eat healthy. Let's work out every single day. And it doesn't have to be like
it's 30 minutes, right? I think I saw you said like 30 minutes.
Yeah. So every day, some form of exercise for, and I want it to be something that's tangible, right? Like instead of, I'm going to do something for 6 months or a year, like 30 days, me and Ashley, my wife, and my wife is going through her own stuff. So we made it a commitment to each other that for 30 days, we're going to eat clean. And for us is everybody has a different form of that. Like for me, I'm not going to eat a bunch. I'm not eating after 8 o'clock. So it's going to have,
I think it's about like finding what your biggest, like for me, it's soda, right? So for me to eat clean, just eliminating soda alone right there off the bat, you know, I drink probably 3 sodas a day on some days. Like I'll already see immediate change, right? And so like you were saying, like I think it's like, do I really need, to get a milkshake with my combo? Probably not. Do I need to get the French fries with my combo? Probably not. Can I still have the burger? Sure. Can I wrap it in lettuce? Sure. Like you get what I'm saying? I agree with you. I think like, well, I haven't answered the question yet, but I'm just going to answer it so we can jump into the conversation. So I am not happy with my body. It's interesting. People say to me all the time, Talan, you're so thin. I wish my body looked like yours. And I kind of what I would call a dad bod, right? Like I'm thin on top. I got a little bit, not crazy, but a little bit down below. And I'm insecure about it. Cause you watch a lot of movies and TV shows. Like Shameless is one of my favorite TV shows. And the guy on there is like just straight, Kevin is straight jacked, right? And I remember watching him in the beginning of the seasons. He was really overweight and bloated, and he just decided one season, screw it, and just got completely jacked. And it just kind of inspired me a little bit. But it was interesting because when I saw your post yesterday, and why I wanted to bring this up was because I was really inspired, because I told myself, Talan, you should post a photo of yourself. And I said, I can't. I can't. I didn't have the because I didn't want to. And not because I didn't want to, because I was insecure about it. And so I just really thought this was an interesting topic to bring up, just because
I think it's really good because, again, as a lot of guys go through this, and it's one of those things, though, too, for myself, is not only am I going to feel better? Like I said, I don't have this super strict thing. I'm not trying to get jacked and like super shredded. I want to get into better shape. I mean, because as I get older, I want to take care of myself. I want to be able to be active and sustain. Like the things and exercises I'm doing are hiking, boxing, calisthenics, and utilizing my own body weight to like push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups. Because I want to be able to use my body as I get older. Like I'm not trying to be, like I said, shredded or jacked, but
for sure.
But it's also the mental state is like when I work out, like your brain produces more potent chemicals than heroin. You just got to let it work. And it's like those natural highs and the endorphins and your serotonin. Like I want to get that back. So all in all, it's just a better choice for me for the long run. And my hope is after I do this 30 days, it's going to kick me into gear where I sustain it again. I have not done something like this for 4 or 5 years. I tried taking shortcuts using, other
shortcuts are interesting, like, and when Jason says shortcuts, and maybe I'm, like you're saying diet pills and things like that, like, I'm like, I'm afraid of all types of pills. I like chew my Advil, even if I take that. I'm just not very good at that kind of stuff. But I find myself, like you're saying, finding ways to do shortcuts, whether that be like I go from working out consistently 6 days a week to, trying to do like some crazy water fast for like freaking 4 days. And like, that's just not sustainable, and that's not healthy, and that's not really going to get me the results that I'm truly looking for. Right. And even if I get them short term, as soon as I start eating again, you get what I'm saying? Like, I agree with you. We find these shortcuts.
Yeah. Well, it's anything worth having is not easy. Right. And I think the whole topic of this is that we agree is that, we both we're uncomfortable in our own skin at times. And right now is that time. And it's normal to go through that, and again, the reason why I talk about it is because by expressing vulnerability, it creates humility. And I wasn't looking for sympathy. I wasn't looking for.
No, listen, it was, I think, that's the funny part. Not the funny part, but the interesting part is, like, I think we as men would post a photo like that and think we would think in our minds that people think we are looking for sympathy votes. But the reality is that everyone that's looking at that post doesn't think that. They think, oh my gosh, like, I feel the same way Jason does. Whether I weigh there's also people who are super skinny and are embarrassed and what do you call it? They're insecure about how skinny they are. I mean, there's all ranges, right? And so I don't, it's interesting that you say that, because like I said, I looked at it immediately and said, oh my God, inspiring that I'm not the only one that feels this way. And I know a lot of my friends don't, but like, it's not really talked about on a deeper level. It's very like, yeah, we got dad bods, whatever, screw it, like,
Yeah, but and it's like, and I think that's really where it stems from, is because everybody jokes around that, but deep down, after those conversations and being manly, is it's causing barriers in their life. And I think for me, it was more of like, look, I'm going through this. Like, I mean, if it inspires you, great. Because I mean, most people took it as an inspiration. Some people took it as like, oh, you're in shape. Like, what are you talking? And it's like, everybody's got their own perception, right? But it's like genuine, like, this is how I feel about myself. I'm not comfortable. Like, I used to be in a lot better shape. And hopefully this motivates you and it inspires you. You guys aren't alone. And I can't tell you how many people have hopped on board wanting to do the 30-day challenge is what we're calling it.
Oh, I like that. So that's why I wanted you to bring it up, because I'm accepting, as you can see in the background, my gym. I am accepting. Yeah. Today was the first day of the Jason Wahler 30-day Dad Bod Challenge.
Yeah.
We're calling it the 30-day Dad Bod Challenge.
I like that.
We're encouraging everyone. I would say 5 days a week is a good rule of thumb.
Yeah. To get outside. I want to say the reason why I say the 30 is just, it's getting your body. I don't care if it's a walk, right? It's every day. Every day you should be able. I'm not saying go to the gym for 2 hours and work out 7 days a week.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm saying you'll burn out. You'll burn out, and then you'll be over it, and you won't be able to complete the 30-day.
Do something that's everybody has 30 minutes to go on a walk. I mean, whether you have kids. I mean, there's always time to do. It's just getting some form of exercise.
30 days, go.
Yeah.
And I think you bring up an interesting thing. Now that we're dads, I think when we were younger and this is like kind of my last thoughts on it, is that now that we're younger, and you already brought this up, I'm just kind of cementing it. When we were younger, we were kind of, I think, more concerned with vanity, right? Like what we looked like. Now that we're in our, let's call it close to our mid-30s, which is kind of scary in dads, you're right. It's really more not about how you look, but how you feel. Like our bones are going to start cranking. Our back's going to hurt. Our recovery times are not going to be as quick. And really, to live a long and healthy and happy life, you really need to build solid foundations. And, like when this whole coronavirus thing started, I was working out like every day. I got in great shape. And then like I got burnt out. I got super burnt out because I worked out 2 hours a day for about 60 days. And then I was like, I'm burnt out. I can't do this anymore. And I'm back where I'm at. And I just like, again, what you said, 30 minutes, 30 days, because even if I come down to my basement, and I'm fortunate enough to have a gym equipment in my basement, and I just walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes, I know that the next time I'll be inspired to maybe do a little bit more again, and then do a little bit more again, and continue. I think like, even if you go down your feet,
wherever you're at, you can do push-ups, you can do sit-ups. Like it's again, and if you can't get it in one day, it's don't beat yourself up. But it's the biggest thing too, is the reason why I posted it is really the accountability factor, is because not only do I have you, there's all these other people now that, like, on a daily, I'm going to do a little post just saying, I'm doing my 30-day challenge, getting it in, and who's doing it. And it's accountability. I call it accountability buddy. You need somebody to hold you accountable and motivate you, because there's going to be days where we're like, dude, I don't want to do this. And I'm all hyped. It's, day 5 right now, or day 4, day 5. So I'm motivated, but,
a week through the way.
Yeah. So it's good though. So I think we definitely agree on this. Again, it's don't beat yourself up. It's, are you taking the action to make the change? And I think the big thing too is I want to let people know, like, one of the biggest factors is don't beat yourself up. I think that's the biggest thing is we can get so down ourselves that actually can deter away from motivation. It can motivate some, and it can actually deter from motivation. So just it's just taking one step. Just take one step.
Yeah, and I hear, and I agree with Jason 100%. My closing thoughts really are just that I don't know if the word body dysmorphia is the word, but being insecure about our bodies as we get older as men. I don't want to say that it's okay, but I want to say that it's okay. What I mean is, like, I want everyone out there to realize we're all going through it in one way or another. And yeah, you're not alone. Like I said, I was inspired by Jason's Instagram post, and I encourage everyone. I'm going to start the 30 for 30 challenge. I encourage, everyone else out there, please like this video, please subscribe, and let us know below. What are you doing? Are you going to take the challenge? We'll see you guys in 30 days.
Yeah,
see
bro.
What's going on? Shoot, does that mean I got to post a photo? It does. Gosh.
Yeah, dude.
All right, well, I'll do it.
Put it up, dude. I'll repost you, homie.
All right, brother. Well,
love you all.
Make sure to use the hashtag DD3430. 30 when you post your photos on Instagram or retweet or regram our favorites. All right, Jason, I'll see you later, brother.
Love you, bro.